Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lifestyle with Dr. Moby. I'm Dr. Moby, and let's welcome our great guest, Kristen.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming to our show. And Kristen is also from Virginia, where I am from. I'm from Northern, and she's part of Southern. So
Mhm.
let's welcome her again and tell me a little bit about yourself, Kristen.
Well, I am originally from South Carolina, but I just moved to Virginia about 2 years ago.
Mhm.
I am a college student, and on the side, I do my podcast.
Okay, yes, and that's where how our common friend, who does podcasting too,
hmm
introduced, and that's been great. So tell me a little bit about your journey with the podcast. How did you start with podcast?
Well, it I was just playing around with an app that I found online called Anchor, and basically, I met our mutual friend
Mhm.
through a Facebook group, and he offered to connect me with a couple of people. And after I did my first show, I realized I actually liked doing it, so
Mhm.
I decided to just stick with it.
Okay, very nice, very nice.
So it hasn't been that long.
Oh, no worries. I mean, we all start from somewhere.
hmm
So yeah, it's also always important is that we enjoy things which we do, and that's I see that you already have a taste for podcasting, and you seem to like it, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I genuinely enjoy just talking to people sometimes.
So you're a people person, you like to talk to, right?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me about, I know we were talking a little bit about, so what was your first episode about?
So my first episode was with Richard. He does a podcast, and he basically just invites people on his show, and he talks about everything from politics to mental health. And we just had like a great time on that episode. And then the second one that I did was actually with Goat and Bear, and we just sat around for like 2 hours just talking about random stuff.
Those one I love a lot because, those kind of really get to know you.
hmm
Because, I don't like or appreciate those scripted ones because, people are kind of involved and you're at a distance. You can't understand what they're saying. I mean, there's like, good and bad because this is all scripted for them. But my podcast is always unscripted. We never ever have scripted one because we want to know you, and or my audience needs to know you, and kind of they need to be connected here. So that's where we find our strength always. So
hmm
also tell me a little bit about since we talked about current stuff. So let's talk about COVID. Okay, so tell me how was it? I know you're studying, so how was it with COVID? I'm sure it affected you, a lot of your studying.
Yeah, well, in the beginning, it obviously was more difficult to deal with than now because it was a lot of uncertainty
Mhm.
about the disease. And I started
Mhm.
in the field when the vaccine wasn't even completely finished yet.
Mhm.
So it was more so trying to reassure the patients that they were going to be okay, but at the same time, not knowing yourself what's going on. So and then on top of it, it seemed like they were adding like new restrictions every single day and not really bringing the results. So when they did finally bring the results, it was a relief.
Oh yeah, yeah. So do you see that I know your group in school or college were they kind of more hesitant to first there are like a lot of things in this first was mask then
hmm
vaccine so there are a lot of steps in this. So do you think there were people had like hesitancy about mask and then all that even the
Yeah,
whole idea of
because I could see it from both sides because in the beginning we were wearing like 3 masks for like
yeah
12 hours at a time. And at
yeah
the end of the shift, we would be so dehydrated. So obviously, I'm like, I can understand why people would not want to wear this. But at the same time, I'm like, it's the only thing that they know for a fact that can actually keep us safe from it. So we weren't obviously too happy about it because it made our job harder than what it needed to be. But it was the only thing that we knew that we could do to keep the patient safe at that time.
And for audience to know that Christy is a nursing student and she is studying nursing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell me about your passion for nursing. I know this is the time after journey. So tell me a little bit.
um, well, I started out as a EMT, and then I realized I like working with people.
Mm.
So, and I like the nursing side of the job more than I liked everything else that came with it. So I switched over to being a CNA, and I basically worked my way from the bottom up.
Okay. So basically, it started with knowing a little bit more about, and you enjoyed the
Mm-hmm.
basically helping patients. And I'm myself, of course, in medicine, and we do a lot of patient care. So that is the satisfaction. It's basically, especially nursing and ours too, is a thankless job, as you know, and it was a lot of stress for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I think anybody who really loved nursing sticked around and they could feel that all that which we went through with the,
Yeah, it's not for the weak.
yeah, it's not for somebody just for so you really need to have passion for that. So which part of the nursing you really enjoy? Is it
I really enjoy working with the dementia patients, long term care.
okay,
I've done a little bit of everything, but I think I'm probably going to stick with the long term for right now.
okay, and that's very good. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people are needed there, and the good thing is, you will have a lot of job. But it's very important that our population is aging. So
Mm-hmm.
our population is aging. We really need a lot of good skilled workers, especially nursing staff as well as providers. And sky is the limit. Maybe later on you like it, and you can become nurse practitioner too. You can become provider too. And you start with one, and of course gradually go up and up if you enjoy that part.
Yeah, I said I'll see how these 3 years go, and then and then I'll work from there.
Okay, very good. And it is a lot of good things about what you're discussing, because your story or your career and everything for everybody who is looking, especially from minorities standpoint of view, and even for everybody, for many reasons. For females, to have focus on education and career, that's very important. For minorities, it's super important. And also to be part of this, and be a role model for so many young ones like yourself. I think it speaks volume. Nowadays I see a lot of kids your age, they are not very focused. They don't know what to do.
Hmm.
Do you find that also?
Well, I think everybody obviously has a different path. Everybody is going. I honestly, when I was younger, I always said I wasn't ready for college. I felt like I wish I would have done my prerequisite classes first and then looked a little more into like the different careers and stuff like that, because I graduated college at 18, and no matter what people try to say, usually you don't really know what you want to do at that time. So it basically took me doing my own research and going my own way to realizing exactly what I wanted to do. And I think a lot of time people get frustrated because there's like an unrealistic expectation on my generation to have everything together at a certain time, and realistically that's not going to be the case.
Hmm. So what you're saying is they want everything pieced together, and they want everything put
Correct.
in a plate for them, and then they say, okay, this is what we're gonna get. This is, but life is not never like that. You need to figure out things
You need
your
to figure out things for yourself sometimes,
yeah,
basically.
exactly. And so so as long as you're focused and you know where you want to reach, you will find a way. But you need to be focused. It's very
Mm-hmm.
important, and have a direction and have a role model. And also, I'm sure you are encouraging a lot of your fellows to finish the education, and not
Mm-hmm.
only that, but remain focused on what you are passionate or what you really like. I love it actually. You said you enjoy podcasting because we don't have too many podcaster of your who want to influence, because we I personally I would love another 100,000 or more, because we spread the good message,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah, because I think sometimes social media gives like an unrealistic expectation.
Mhm.
So I think that's why I think I got kind of attached to podcasting because you can actually learn from different groups of people. It can be unbiased as you want. It's relief from what I'm used to seeing online.
That is true. And, we meet a lot of guests and then we learn a lot of things and actually help a lot of people. And we know that, many times I feel that, I'm not alone in all this. And then I have, guests from all walks of life,
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, which is great because you're kind of looking beyond your normal, and they are all very well educated too, as well as they are very focused as and could be a great role model for a lot of folks out there. I find that talking about lifestyle, health, and even all good things, it is a powerful message, which we are all working hard to make a difference here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So tell me also, where do you think, as a podcast, or we can make a difference? Which topics you think that will really help?
Um, I'm I'm an open book. I like to talk about anything, but I think my main audience preferably would be people more around my age group. Like if they have like small businesses that they're trying to promote, just so that they can have a place to like put themselves out there.
Mm-hmm. And also, I want to ask you, there is a lot of things which I want to. Why do you see also with the young ones and fresh graduates, and also there's a lot of they are into this very different time here. If
Hmm.
you look at COVID and all the disaster it did, especially it ruined a lot of those folks in the college as well as starting. So there is a lot of difficult time they can see right now, or they are right now, right.
Yeah, it's a little weird just because obviously the things that we used to be able to do growing up, we're not able to do anymore because of the virus. So it's just taking a lot of getting used to. And even some parts of the states that are trying to get back to normal is still difficult for them too, because it's like, okay, you want to go back to normal, but at the same time, the CDC guidelines changed every day. You don't want to put people in danger. So nobody has really found like the healthy medium yet. So I think it's going to be difficult to adjust um, for a while
That's
until we can get it under control.
And that is true. And sad thing is a lot of people are losing patience. Some are, and if you look at, a lot of people got vaccinated, which is a great thing, and I think a lot of which really helped to open up the business. But there are some pockets, even in Virginia, I can tell you, the Northeast and southern part probably got more vaccines than western part, or the where you are. So so that was kind of, but unfortunately those pockets will create those lingering COVID cases,
Mm-hmm.
those infection with these current vaccines will help to kind of get rid of those. But there will be pockets, unfortunately, and then there will be, I can tell, in the hospital, all cases which are on ventilator or where they are worse, they are the one which are unvaccinated.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of it is people are scared. They don't know exactly what to believe at this point because of so of the mass miscommunication going on. So it's like I can go up and say that COVID is still a thing, but somebody will be like, well so and so on the news said that people are still dying and yeah yeah yeah. So it's an issue that's always going to be around. No, I personally think even if they do find a way to contain the virus, people are still going to be afraid to go back to normal, and then the ones that are trying to go back to normal, they're still going to be afraid to do what they were doing before, just
Mm.
because of the uncertainty.
Mm. And that is true. What you're saying is that there will be still a lot of time it will need for normalization and realization that, but that's the unfortunate, people have all kind of different expectation or different understanding of things.
Mm-hmm.
And, some, but one thing for sure, if we have a clear message and if we send a very clear and direct message, do this, that, please do this, this is not forcing, but it's education, it's all about education,
Correct.
making the right decision. There are always two ways to learn things. One is doing a mistake and repenting, and then the other is not doing that and just learning. And so you can, people can learn both ways, but it's always better if you don't suffer from it.
Mm-hmm.
So those are, always important. We always highlight that, nobody says there's only one way.
Right.
There are 100 ways of doing things,
Mm-hmm.
but some has consequences, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So also tell me how do you keep yourself motivated or with?
How I don't really have a set routine, even though I probably should. I don't, but I do know when start to feel myself getting frustrated because obviously I work a lot of hours. So if I feel like I need to take a break, I take a break or I take some time off, take some time to myself. And I think just taking that time to rest really does affect how well you work, how well you get along with people. So if I feel myself getting irritable over the littlest stuff, then that's when I know I need to relax a bit.
That is true. So as long as to pull back and hold yourself, that's always better. I think problem happens. People get carried away with either work or with whatever they are doing, and then they get burned. Right.
Mhm. Because it's really easy to do that, especially in this industry when everybody is completely understaffed. So you kind of have to force yourself to put yourself first a lot of the
That-
time. At least that's my experience with it.
mm. And that is so true. If you don't put yourself, or if you don't do, unfortunately, you can't help others. So you can't help someone if you're gonna drown yourself.
Yeah, you can't help patients if you become the patient, basically. So
Hmm. Yeah, and that is so true. Also, I want to ask you, what are your other interests beside podcasting?
I hike. I like
Wow.
I like traveling. The last hike I did was like about 8 hours. The Macaw Cliff, the one that's like by the Appalachian Mountains. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but I hike. I like traveling. I basically just like taking time outside of the city and
Yeah.
just going sightseeing. It doesn't matter if it's just in another city in Virginia. I just like traveling different places.
Hmm. And maybe you can do your podcast on that.
Hmm. That was actually a consideration.
Yeah, the travel. Oh, yeah. I love. I did couple of those on different sites, and it was fun. It was
Hmm.
fun knowing and looking at ours. I mean, people think when you want to actually podcast or when you want to convey about any town, different is your perspective. It's interesting, that
Hmm.
there is a uniqueness which we all have of looking from that angle, and yeah, I'd like to, of course, share that always.
Yeah,
So,
you would be surprised about how a lot of places I go to, they don't cost anything. You just gotta know where to look. A lot of people around here don't even know about a lot of the historic attractions and stuff out here. So it's actually been kind of interesting learning about Virginia history.
hmm. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Virginia has a lot of history, and that a lot of people don't know about that. That's so
Hmm.
true. That is true. And there are so many tales and so many stories. Where actually the whole American history pretty much
Hmm.
is in this area. I mean, if you travel a little bit north south, it's a lot of things happen, and we can highlight that. And a lot of people don't know that.
Hmm.
I mean, to my surprise, a lot of people only know a very few area around them. They don't like to know, or they have no idea about far away. So
Hmm.
that is a kind of big thing, for sure. So what are your future plans, or you don't have much plans for next few
Well,
months?
for my
Year?
next 2 years, I'm obviously going to be finishing up my degree, but after that, I would like to travel more.
Mhm,
I is my goal to travel more outside the country
mhm.
and in. Um, I don't really have set a set goal for myself outside of school as far as like starting a family, all that stuff. I just go with the flow.
No, that's always good. No, what I meant is that about podcasting, you think
Podcasting.
now you're about podcasting, you're doing mostly audio, or are you doing video audio?
I am right now doing audio, but I am working on getting YouTube started so I can do video too.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, video is, I do both audio and video, and I always find you can do same episode audio and video. So, the
Hmm.
advantage is a lot of people can connect with video. Um,
Hmm.
so that's a good thing about. So, well, wish you good luck, and if we can be a help by being a fellow podcaster, and also, of course, in this a little longer than you are, I'll be happy to offer my advice. And thank you for coming again to our show.
Thank you
And
for having me.
yes, you take care and enjoy. Okay,
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
good day.